first big problem is that you have put a lot of people above you.
Yeah.
Put no one above you. So I look at my life and how I came up as the ultimate training ground versus most people look at it as why? Woe is me, God, why? I'm a superhero, but I'm a liar. I'm that now, but I wasn't born that.
Yeah.
I had to make myself into this.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like 9 to 9. For my top 10, top 10, 9 to 9. This one's for my top 10.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something more inside you too. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something. So get ready to put no one else above you, face your fears, and overcome adversity with David Goggins and my take on his top 10 rules of success to give you the confidence, motivation, and belief that you need. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Put no one else above you.
I mean, $1,000 a month, 300 pounds, just, I can't do any of this stuff.
Yeah.
These people are better than me.
Yeah.
So the first thing is, that's the first big problem right there. First big problem is that you have put a lot of people above you.
Yeah.
Put no one above you.
Yeah.
No one. Whatever you, but if you believe in something.
Say that again, because that's, but the man, the people that make more money, the people that are better looking, the ones that are on social media and they're so good at this.
I put God above me. Besides that, there's no one better than me.
Got it.
You have to become an equal.
Yeah.
So this is how I look at it. If you're playing, and I talked about it at your conference, if you're playing Roger Federer,
Yeah.
okay, before you get on the court with Roger Federer, he's the best of all time.
Yeah.
But you're also a professional tennis player, man.
Yep.
You're forgetting your own resume.
Yep.
So once you get on the court, let's say it's a grand slam. It's 5 sets, hopefully, if you can go the distance with this guy.
Yep.
But before you even bounce the ball to serve it, you're down 2 sets. Because why? You look across and you're playing Roger Federer.
Yeah.
But guess what? You hit a good shot on Roger Federer in the 3rd set. And you realize, I can play with this, but it's too late.
Yeah.
You gave up 2 sets before you got on the court. You gotta stop giving up 2 sets before the game begins. And we do that already. We give up 2 sets before the game begins.
Rule number 2, overcome adversity.
My dad really helped create this. I'm not giving him credit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he was a great dad, like clap my hands for his ass. He helped create this because he was just that, he was a devil. You know, he was a guy that had to be very insecure, very beat down. Something had to happen to him when he was younger. Because the way he treated me, my brother, my mom was just horrible. So he would beat us, my mom, my brother, me. And I'm not talking about like, oh, you got in trouble, so let me give you a whipping. When he was a drunk.
Okay.
So whenever he woke up, man, he woke up drinking, went to bed drinking. And that's just how it was. And when he get drunk, he just got violent. So my mom caught my dad cheating. We got home about 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm about 7, 8 years old. And I hear some ruckus outside my room as I'm getting ready to bed down for the night. And my mom and dad are outside my room because there's a staircase right there. And my dad is smacking the hell out of my mom and knocks her almost unconscious, where she's kind of out of it. You know, she's kind of loopy. She falls down, he grabs her by her hair and drags her down the stairs by her hair. And so at this age, I'm sitting thinking, man, you know, what the fuck should I do, man? Like, you know, I'm scared, but then something in me saying, you gotta go and do something.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm scared to death of this guy because he's been beating the shit out of me since I can remember. And I mean, like, laying me out for nothing. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, okay, man, like, what am I gonna do? So my brother, he and I were very different. When my brother would see the fighting, he would go to this room and hide.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. I always stuck around. So this time I stuck around and I decided to help her out. So I go on the stairs and I jump on his back, and literally he tells my mom, you're raising a gangster, as she's like on the floor. And he's almost smiling, almost like proud, but that smile went to a frown pretty quick, and he beat the living hell out of me. And he beat me literally from my neck down to my ankles, like black and blue. So the next morning, I was gonna go to school half the day. My mom woke up and she pulled the covers back. And what she saw was how bruised I was. And so when she pulled the covers back and saw how bruised I was, I'll never forget looking at her face. Because she used to write letters for me, for me and my brother to miss PE because we were so bruised up from getting beaten. So, hey, he's sick or whatever. And so, she was lying a lot for my dad. So this particular day, she didn't write a letter. But when I laid in the bed and looked up at my mom and she pulled the covers back, I'll never forget looking at her face. And her face is tattooed in my brain. And why I say that, this past year, I got the VFW award for Americanism Award. And if you Google David Goggins VFW Award, I'm in front of 5,000 veterans. And I'm getting this amazing award. John McCain got it. And I'm up here thinking, man, I'm up here getting this award. This is amazing. It's for giving back and also having a great military career. And I could give this 6-minute long speech. And I'm up there, man, I'm talking, and I'm thanking people who helped me out. And I get to my mom, she's sitting back, she's sitting right here on stage, but behind me. And I haven't cried in 30 years.
I can't even picture it.
Haven't cried in 30 years, I just don't do that. And I turn around and say, and I want to thank my mom for not picking me up when I was knocked down, but teaching me how to get up. Because she never picked me up ever. And because her circumstances sucked. So anyway, I look back and I said that, and when I got done, I didn't even get a chance to say it. I looked at her eyes, and my head went right back to her face when she saw me bruised up. And that me up. And for 58 seconds, look at the video, and you'll see me, my head's down, and I'm sobbing.
Wow.
And I'm in front of 5,000 vets, and the guy who was hosting the thing had to come up to me and like put his hand on my back. And I was just destroyed, overcome with emotion. And then 58 seconds go by and I get up and I deliver this speech. And so I tell you that because my life tattooed me.
Rule number 3, have a cookie jar.
Whenever times got hard, my mind said, you're not good enough. Let's go. So my mind wasn't, my eyes, my mind weren't connecting.
So how do you combat that?
So how you combat that is this. I call it the cookie jar.
Okay.
You have to remind yourself. We all have a story. All of us have gone through very hard times. But when we're in a hard time, our mind has a way of forgetting what all we've overcome. I have a way of taking 1 second when I want to quit and saying, okay, you endured this. So I look at my life and how I came up as the ultimate training ground versus most people look at it as why? Woe is me. God, why?
Exactly.
Why? I had to flip this upside down and say, hang on a second. God was training me to be one of the baddest men on the planet Earth.
Absolutely right.
That's how this was my journey.
Rule number 4, face your fears.
When I was younger, life and society made this big world with all these endless possibilities. Endless possibilities. My life made my possibilities this big. Because it made me afraid of all these different things. So all this stuff trapped my mind, it shackled my brain, it made me a prisoner within my own self, saying, this is all I can do. Because why? I'm afraid of this, I'm insecure over here, I got self-doubt over here, back behind me, good Lord, who knows what's behind me? I'm gonna look behind me. So your life is this big. Versus it being like, I can do all this shit out here if I start to break down these these different walls and barriers. And that's what I started realizing. I could become a Navy SEAL. I could become this, but I was afraid of the water. Think about this.
I know.
Why the f are you gonna go be a Navy SEAL when all you do is play in the water? And we don't play, we're in it and we're living in it.
You're tying knots, you're swimming for miles.
That's right, the ocean is unforgiving. So my mind is, I'm gonna go be a Navy SEAL. If I didn't face that fear, no one would ever know me. I was number 3 behind Michelle Obama for a long time until my book sold out. And I was a guy just 21 years ago who was 300 pounds, could barely read and write, and now I have a book just 2 spots behind Michelle Obama.
Hopefully we get it above today.
just because I was afraid.
Yeah.
But you overcome those fears, guess what happens? The whole world, you unlock this door and everything opens back up again.
Also, if you want to have more motivation and self-love, check out my 254 series. They're free. The links to join are in the description below.
Everything I didn't want to do is what got me to where I'm at today. You can outwork anybody. It's about what you're saying to yourself, but it also comes with work. So whenever I was getting beat down, physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever I was going through, just saying, I would put, you can't hurt me.
Rule number 5, develop an accountability mirror.
My mom didn't know how bad my grades were. She never saw one report card. I hit everything and she didn't even ask. She was so bogged down with life. And so I got away with a lot of shit because her mind was occupied. So it made me, honestly, a weaker person. So I scammed life. My mom helped me scam life for a while. But this time I couldn't scam life. I went the second time, took the ASVAB test, failed it again. And a week later, she got a letter in the mail from my high school. And I'm a junior in high school, and the letter says pretty much your son's gonna flunk out. He's missed 25% of school, because she was always gone, so I never went to school. He's gonna miss school, and so or he's gonna flunk out. So I was exposed once again. My mom goes, well, she read the letter to me, she put my bed, and her best advice was, guess what? You're gonna flunk out of school. That was it, in the conversation. So this is when I developed my accountability mirror. And
this is awesome.
I look in the mirror, and at this time, I didn't want to be the black kid in school. There's like 5 or 6 of us in school, out of like 1,700 kids, something like that. And I made up a character to kind of like draw attention from color.
Okay.
And so what I did was I started to design haircuts. And one haircut I had was the old man. And I shaved my head up here just like this.
You did this?
I did this.
Okay.
And I would keep the hair on the side like an old man has. And one time I shaved my whole head and had a reverse part. So I had hair up here and they kind of zigzag. So I did things to be this cool, crazy, kind of like creative kid. Like Criss Cross came out this time, so I had my pants sagging but backwards. So my back pockets were here. I had a toothbrush. I was crazy, man. But I was a crazy cool kid in school. So I look in the mirror, I see this letter, I'm f***ed up, and I'm like, you know what, man, no one is coming to help me.
Yeah. I
remember back to what my principal said, 'cause I went to the principal when they wrote that shit on my car and in my notebook, and the best advice he can give me, God help his soul, was this: they're ignorant. They spell nigger Niger.
God.
And so but honestly, I talked to the guy as I wrote my book, and I have nothing wrong with Principal Freeman. I actually interviewed him for the book, and he was happy to interview. He's a good man. What the f*** you could tell some black kid, you're a white guy in white society, we could tell me. You could shut down the school and have a damn. So I started talking to myself this way in this mirror. What the f*** is Principal? Because at that time, like, this is the best you can do, Principal Freeman? That was my mind then, but in this mirror, it wasn't my mom, it wasn't Principal Freeman, it wasn't my dad, it was me. Because when nobody coming back to help David Goggins, that was my mindset now. And so with my non-spelling ass, I started getting these sticky notes.
Wow.
And writing, you're f***ed up. And my mom wakes up like, what is wrong with you? I go, man, I have to change because I can't stay here. Wow. I can't, I looked at myself in the mirror and I was defeated. I go, look at myself. I'm like, who am I? So I'm defeated in this mirror and I'm like, okay, I'm changing.
Rule number 6, push yourself to the extreme.
On the other side of that extreme place that I call suffering, call whatever you want, there's a whole nother world that people have not even examined. But you have to go to that extreme place to examine it. We want to stay here in this comfortable place. Once you're willing to push yourself to that extreme place, it's like a whole nother universe. It's almost like you're an astronaut and you've examined something like up in outer space. No, it's always been there. But you have to be going through all the muck and all the shit to examine it. You realize, wow, God, through all this crap, there's a whole nother universe over here in my mind.
Yeah.
Whole nother universe.
Rule number 7, be a practitioner.
We have a theorist and we have a practitioner. The theorist is a person that's gonna sit back and read books from a library that someone else wrote. They become real smart about what someone else wrote, okay? A practitioner is me. I put myself in hell, lived in it, for a long time and figured out how the human mind works while suffering, while in pain, while in misery.
Yes.
And that's how I wrote my book.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you exactly what your mind is thinking. Most of us don't stay in hell long enough to write the book.
Yeah.
I stayed in long enough to write it and finish the book.
Rule number 8, make yourself into a superhero.
Everybody thinks I'm the world's toughest motherfucker ever
Right.
lived. If I just talk about, I broke the pull-up record, I did all these races, I went through SEAL training, I was in 3 hell weeks, Ranger school. If I talk about all the badassery, like we like to do on social media, and I don't tell you that I was a f***ed up kid, and I was scared as shit, and I was depressed and insecure, and all this shit, what good am I for anybody?
Right.
I'm a superhero, but I'm a liar. I'm that now, but I wasn't born that.
Yeah.
I had to make myself into this shit.
Rule number 9, master your mind.
When I was in the worst time of my life in Hell Week, I looked at everybody and said, I'm the most trained person here.
Well, that's the truth.
I've gone through more mental torture than any of you all can even fathom.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the baddest people on the planet. I'm looking at them like this. You guys can't hold a stick. So I started looking at verses like, I don't belong here, versus like, I might be the baddest person to ever come here.
Wow.
Who could have pulled this off? Who could have been given a sewer to live in their mind and say, okay, at birth, I'm gonna put you in the worst place on the planet Earth, and let me see if you can go to the top of the mountain
Right.
with nothing,
Right.
but just hard work, grit, and figuring it out, and not putting yourself back in the dungeon every time something got hard. So that's what became
Wow.
my daily voice was, you really are the baddest person on the
Right.
planet.
Right.
And after a period of time, you start to believe that.
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is work harder.
We have 2 voices in our mind, and boy, I know they're fucking true. I've heard them. I hear them now. And they're real. It's that one voice, that voice I used to love to fucking hear, that we love to hear. It's that soft motherfucker. That soft motherfucker voice that says, sleep the fuck in. It's okay. It's that coddling voice. You want to be hugged and nurtured and all that shit that says it's going to be okay. Well, there's another motherfucking voice that wakes you up in the middle of the night. It's not your girlfriend. It's not your boyfriend. It's that demon fucking voice that whispers in your fucking ear that says, get up, motherfucker. You're not fucking good enough. You gotta work fucking harder. You haven't put enough time in. It's that voice you want to run away from. It's that voice you don't want to fucking hear. But guess what? It's that voice you need to fucking listen to. Stay hard. Listen to the whisper.
Now I have a special bonus clip from David on how to take control of your life that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the 3-point landing questions. Let's go from just watching a video to taking action. Here we go. Question number 1, where do you need to work harder? Number 2, how can you make yourself into a superhero? And number 3, what's your fear that you need to face? And if you made it this far in the video, I wanna celebrate you. Give me a hashtag believe down in the comments as well.
I was sick and tired of not facing the fact that I've allowed life to make me feel like a loser. And a lot of us allow life to do that, and we accept it. And a lot of us talk about how we believe in God. We believe in something higher than us.
Yeah.
If that is truth, you won't allow yourself to feel that way.
If you want to see the top 50 I did on David Goggins, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
And that's the one thing I started learning, man. This isn't a race against me and Rich Roll. This is a race against David Goggins and David Goggins alone.